You can't help yourself.
Well, you can't either.
That's
comes this
true.
time.
Just stop,
Just shut up.
just shut up. Don't worry about it.
I ain't worried at all. I got no worries.
Look at you, repping Tennessee.
How do you start this? Is this automatic? Is it already on?
Yeah, it's rolling. We're just chatting.
Okay.
And you don't have to holler because the mic is right there at your mouth.
I didn't know I was hollering.
You never do, Dad. I'm just telling you, you don't have to talk loudly because
Okay.
it's right there.
All right.
And these little fuzzy things that are on there
Yeah.
make
Keep
it
the
so that,
wind.
yeah, it's a wind screen, so. Yeah.
Beautiful place, isn't it?
You really have a nice spot.
Yeah, she picked out a good spot for us. And here we are,
I know. Lucky you.
as usual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about this a lot because I thought it'd be really funny for anyone watching that if we could talk a little bit about how you started golfing, but also what it was like for you to watch me start golfing.
Ouch. Well,
But don't start with me because it wasn't me first. You got to start with you.
yeah, it was interesting. My friends in high school, after we graduated, they all had an interest in golf, and of course I wanted to be like my buddies.
Yeah.
Never had, well, I had swung a club or used a putter a couple of times in a neighborhood with a friend named Ronnie. He was interested in golf but had no idea what to do with it.
Is this Ronnie Alexander?
Yes.
Yeah.
And we even dug holes in the backyard and putted around in 2 or 3 inch high grass. It was nothing like golf, but
you
it was.
putted it in 2 or 3 inch tall grass?
Yeah, it was.
Sounds like croquet.
It more or less, yes. But it was with golf clubs.
Yeah.
Eventually, I graduated and I had friends that knew something about golf, and I started playing, or trying to, and I really liked it. And
What did you like about it?
the competition, the singular aspect of it, not a team sport, it's a singular aspect. You make a mistake, it's your fault.
Yeah.
And Glenda's father was a heavy golfer, and he helped me tremendously. He gave me all his golf magazines, and I read them voraciously because I wanted to play. I wanted to be
You
good
wanted to
at
be
it.
good.
I wanted to learn how to do. It's a daunting sport to figure out how to make that ball, little bitty ball, go where you want it to with a stick,
Yeah.
a club, a bat, whatever you want to call it. But
At any point in your initial experience of golf, did you ever think to yourself, this is the dumbest game that I've ever tried to play? Because I say it all the time.
I'm like everybody else. I've made statement after statement. I hate this game. I'm never doing this again. I made a statement. I'm going to burn my clubs and then sell them. I was that frustrated.
Because the metal would still be there.
Yeah, it was.
You just have to re-grip them.
Anyways, I've been through the frustration of golf like anyone else, but the appetite for golf for me was voracious. It was
beyond. You were consumed.
I was. Early in my career of golfing, limited as it was, I went to Texas to work, and I was by myself, but I took my golf clubs and I worked on aspects of my game that I needed at the driving range because I didn't have anything else to do at night.
So this is so interesting because I didn't, in my memory, your introduction to golf was not because of your friends, it was because of Papa. Once you married Mom, he was like, hey, you should come play golf. Here, let's go learn how.
It wasn't that so much. It was more my friends first, and then it developed with him because of her, and he was more influential with me for golf than my friends ever were. They became my someone to beat for me,
Yeah.
and that was part of the drive, because they were better than me when I started, but they were no good at all. But they were better than me.
They were better than you. So that means you were real bad,
I was
which is
normal.
not
I was
a
normal.
very, no, it's just not a very comfortable place for you to be. No. I know y'all don't know my dad, but he hates losing. The only person he was comfortable losing to was me.
Was you.
That's it.
That takes us back to you and
How it started. Wait a minute. Let's go back to that Texas story, because that's interesting. You took your clubs to Texas. You had work there.
I had worked there for a year. I stayed there a year. We actually moved there. That's when you.
Yeah.
That's when you found the potty in the backyard.
Don't tell that story. Nobody needs to hear anything about that story.
That's a funny story. Anyway, but I was there, and I had time on my hands where I could do things. And by then, I was really into golf, and I wanted to get better. And I had a bad slice with a tee shot, and I only ever used a 2-wood. That's a rare club anymore.
Yeah.
But I had a 2-wood, and I learned to hit it, and I learned to fix a slice and turn it into a draw.
Okay. Tell us how you figured that out.
I didn't do it on my own. Like I said,
You were reading.
Papa gave me all his magazines, and Jack Nicklaus was my mentor,
Mm-hmm.
so to speak. But I read all the tips, all the strategies, all the dynamics of golf to make a ball do what you wanted to. And I applied those systematically on the driving range, and after a few thousand balls, I've figured out how to work a ball to where it didn't do this anymore.
And it was going the
It
other
would
way.
do this, go straight, or I could pull it a little bit to the left, or I could fade it if I wanted to. I could control the ball, learn how to control the ball with head movement
Yeah.
and dynamics of a golf swing, which they're basic and understandable, but they're hard to master.
Yeah.
Hard to master.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Now-
impressive, though, that just in learning styles, because the way that people generally are consuming and digesting information anymore is so different than then. Obviously, it's because it wasn't available on video the way that it is now, but that you were able to take that information, read it, digest it, and then go apply. That speaks a lot to your learning style. Have you ever thought much about your learning style?
Papa took me several times to places where we hit balls with irons. Never used drivers, but he had shag balls and a shag bag, and we would go and hit balls, and he taught me how to manipulate a shot,
Yeah.
to make it go up, to make it go down, left or right. And eventually I found some wiffle balls that were golf ball size,
I remember those.
and I worked
You used to hit those
on-
all the time when we lived on Hartford.
And I hit them down our driveway on Maury. You were still about this tall.
Yep.
And I would hit down the driveway, go up over the corner of the house, make a draw between the garage and the oak tree in the backyard. I learned to do that.
That's
Interesting.
fun.
Dynamics is just what you can do with the spin of a golf ball.
Yeah. Well, and all that's managed by what the face is doing at the moment of contact.
Right, exactly.
And you understood that. I really think like your engineering mind and, understanding basic concepts of physics really played a big role in that. I will admit that those concepts haven't really felt like they were illuminated to me probably until the last handful of years as a coach, but really being able to have almost like a beautiful mind experience where like the formulas start coming together in your mind. It feels like that sometimes. Like it feels like you might be out there trying to solve math when you're trying to hit a golf ball. But I think if you can get to a place where you can really start to see, oh, if it's approaching the ball this way and I do this with my hands, the ball is going to do that.
Yeah, right there at the bottom. People would ask me eventually, how do you do that? And I said, that's right there between your feet. It all happens right there between your feet where that little ball's sitting. That's where everything happens. At that point, you either make it or you miss it. You hit down, try to drive the ball into the ground. That's what Papa taught me. Try to drive the ball into the ground. If you hit down on it, it goes up. If you hit up on it, it goes down. And that was true. Opposites.
Yeah.
And that if you go outside in, it's going to go
To the right?
to the slice. If you go inside out, it's
You're
going to
gonna draw.
It's opposite.
It's opposites.
And I tried to teach that to people that asked me for help, and I said it's a game of opposites.
And is that when they said, so golf is dumb? And then you were like, yes.
Pretty much. You can't outthink it.
You can't outthink it.
You can't
Yeah.
outthink it. So that takes us down to where you were learning golf, and if I got to go play golf, I had to take y'all with me, which was very, very interesting. I would take you, and we would go to Crockett Golf Course and play 9 holes. I would, by myself, play 9 holes, and you two were with me. And if you played, by the 3rd hole, you were so mad you were throwing clubs. And I said,
Yes.
you get a grip on that or I'm not bringing you again. I had to threaten you with your life, your livelihood, your passions. And that didn't stop for years.
I don't think I stopped like really being mad about it until I got out of college.
Yeah, you were mad still in college, but our control of our own appetites, passions, and desires is a key to our happiness, I think. If you can keep yourself from throwing golf clubs, playing this game.
Honestly, this is a very wise statement. I forgot to let the people know. This is Greenside Chats. I'm Amanda. This is my dad, Jeff.
Hello.
Hello.
It's me.
I oftentimes tell the story about my introduction to golf of being on the golf course with Papa and him telling me that if I didn't stop cursing that I wasn't going to be able to get a cheeseburger and a Coke.
I'm not taking you.
I ain't taking you no more if you don't stop cursing. And I was 8, so I've had a foul mouth for a very long time.
He asked me once, where did she learn all those words? I said, her mama.
Her mama.
And that's not true either. But
So when you were early in your golf career, it sounds to me like your motivation to keep playing was because you really liked the challenge of it, and you also enjoyed the fact that if things went good or bad, it didn't matter if it went good or bad, the responsibility was yours.
it's an individual sport, and that's what I liked about it the
Yeah.
most. I didn't have to depend on anyone else to pass me the ball or to make the right block or to whatever. It was just me. I
Yeah.
had no one to blame but me.
And you were, which also meant, because I know you're a control freak, it meant that you were in full control
I
of the
liked
entire
that.
experience.
I liked that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was me. It was all me.
Yeah.
Me and the ball against everybody else in the group,
Mm-hmm.
and I wanted to beat everybody else in the group passionately.
When you were, do you remember like when you were young and you were playing with your friends, having that first shot experience that really changed the whole thing? Like, oh, this is fun. I'm gonna keep trying.
Well, everybody has an experience. Usually, every round that brings you back, no matter how bad the round is.
You had
one
one.
shot.
You had one. Did you ever have a hole in one?
Never had. I was this close.
Yeah.
It actually hit in and bounced out that far.
Stopped 2 inches from the hole.
Yeah, many times as I've tried, I've been really close more than once, but never had one. And
Yeah.
that doesn't keep me playing, just the elusive hole in one. I had a friend that had multiples in one round.
What?
I think it was 2 in one round.
Oh, he must have been a terrible golfer.
He was a terrible golfer.
Terrible. I never understand like the odds of this happening. So weird. I have so I've had one hole in one in my
Oh, you
entire
have?
life, just one.
Well, you've had one.
Yeah, and it was so annoying. I've told this story a lot of times. I may have even told this story on this program. I was out there on the first hole at Healdsburg, par 3, obviously. That's how you get a hole in one, because it's on a dang par 3. The kid I was with was 12 years old, and he could not care less about what we were doing. And I hadn't hit any golf balls in weeks, and I hadn't hit any balls to warm up. We just went out there, the first shot, first swing, hit it, and it just one hop and then in the hole. And I looked at him, and I don't even know what he was doing. I don't even think he realized what happened. And I was like, oh my gosh, I just made a hole in one.
And nobody here to know it.
Nobody here even cares. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be
Well,
the worst.
yeah.
No one to witness.
To celebrate with. Well, if you had found yourself somewhere, and you've probably actually had this experience anyway, of being someplace and someone that you meet or is a friend of yours and they're not a golfer and you were golfing. My dad doesn't golf anymore, but if you were golfing at the time and met someone who was on the fence about golfing, what would you say to them to encourage them to go try?
It's a great game. I loved it. I still love it. I just don't care to play it anymore. It stopped being fun for me. And I don't know why. I was playing good.
It's because you play pickleball.
Well, that's it.
You're a
That's
pickleballer.
mostly it. I care more about pickleball than golf now. But I had several subpar rounds.
Yeah.
As a senior, of course, it's a shorter course, but you have to make the shots. And
You
I was
still got to be
making
able to hit the
shots.
ball. Yeah.
It ceased to be fun and enjoyment for me, so I stopped.
But what would you have said to someone, let's say 20 years ago, what would you have said to someone to encourage them to go play?
I encouraged a lot of people to play golf. They asked me, how do you do this? What do I need to do? Get on the practice range. Go practice. Before you ever go play again, and I'm sure they had before, or they wouldn't have had the bug, go learn how to play. Go learn how to hit a ball. So it'll be fun for you when you get there. Hit it. To learn how to hit a tee shot. Don't hit it in the woods or in the water or whatever. Don't frustrate yourself by practicing on the course, because you're going to frustrate yourself. You're going to frustrate the people you're playing with and everybody behind you.
We're going to be mad you're there.
Yeah. It's embarrassing. It's frustrating, humiliating, but it can be rewarding if you know how to do it.
Yeah. So you need help.
It's a lot of fun if you know how to do it.
Yeah. It is a whole lot of fun.
I've had tremendous, I have many vivid, passionate memories of playing with my friends and family on the golf course.
Mm-hmm.
It's I'll never forget. We used to take trips to Arkansas at Mountain Ranch Golf Course. We would go for a 3-day weekend once a year, and it was just a blast. We played 36 holes a day. I played 54 holes one time. I was exhausted.
I can't believe you did that.
But I was much younger, much thinner, and I could do that kind
Yeah.
of thing. But
Was that back when you were taking those trips when I was in college?
I was before that,
Yeah.
before high school for you, I think.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, early on we were doing that, and great friends, great time, and I wouldn't trade them for anything.
Yeah.
Great memories.
Who were those people that you were playing with?
Mike Sterrett, Steve Weber, Mike Tibbs, Tommy Lewis.
Oh, yeah. Stomper.
The Stomper. Funny people, good playing. David Belcher, Barry Adams, and almost always a mystery guest. Don Doherty played.
Yeah.
Mike Mabry. We had usually about 12 people a year.
When I was, I think when I was like maybe a junior in college, maybe a senior, there was a guy that was a dentist that started going.
Brock.
Yeah, Dr. Brock.
Dr. Brock. His last name was Brock. No, his first name was Brock. Brock Harris. Doc Brock Harris. He was rabid golfer. The one particular time we were going, he had hit 3,000 balls
My gosh.
the week before we went to play, and he sucked so bad. He could hit 10,000 balls and would not be a better golfer, but he tried.
He tried real
tried.
hard. What do you think made him come back if he was so bad at golf?
A lot of it was the fellowship. We had
Yeah.
great fellowship. Gary Harrison was part of that group.
I think, I mean, it can't be denied. That was one of the reasons why I really wanted to do this podcast and have these conversations, is because at some point, the thing that inevitably makes you want to play is your community, your camaraderie, your buddies. And for me, even now, like, I don't play a lot of golf now, but if I'm going to go, I was saying this the other day, if I'm going to go and play, I really want to be with my friends or my family.
That's where you want to be. Tournament golf for me, I don't know if I could have ever done that. I don't think I would want it to. Too much like a job and too much pressure. This thing, it's a great sport for mingling with your friends, having a great time, laughing at each other's mistakes, ribbing. We used to have this trick where someone would sneak up behind your group and unlatch your bag. After you hit, you take off, your bag falls off.
Yeah, you've been pulling pranks a long time. Oh yeah, look at this guy.
A lot of laughter. It pranks all over. Somebody put a ball on the tee once that exploded. You know, we've seen that on videos before.
Yep.
That
joke is, all these jokes have been happening long before TikTok and Instagram Reels.
Farting in the backswing is one of the greatest.
Can't believe it, man.
Oh, man. Men are like that. I mean,
Y'all
I
are
don't know if
pigs.
women do that. I doubt it, but
No, we don't do that.
y'all don't do that
No,
kind of
we're
thing.
very classy.
But, just anything and everything.
Yeah.
But the memories are there for the making, and it's a great game for that. If you're not too serious about yourself and your game, you can have some fun with it.
Yeah, I totally agree. I started having a whole lot more fun as an adult golfer when I just stopped caring as much. And, you know, I cared deeply in college. I wanted to do well. It was a different layer, a different element.
It's
But
a lot more pressure with what you were doing. You know, you're playing with your friends and family for fun. There's nothing on the line except the bets you make with
Yeah.
people, you know.
yeah. What was your favorite? I know you played Wolf a lot, but was there any other games that you would play when you were with your friends on those golf trips?
That was the best game we had, bar none. And I don't remember a whole lot of other games other than just scrambling or best ball. We did formats constantly, but someone else organized them.
Mm-hmm.
I just participated. I didn't.
You just showed up and played.
I just showed up and played.
Yeah.
I was on somebody's team, and that was good.
Yeah, that's fun.
We did anything distracting, everything fun. I was taking a practice swing once, and a guy said, and of course I wasn't turned down the tee, and the guy said, "Wrong way." Of course, everybody laughed. I stood up and either hooked or shanked one, or I hit a terrible shot.
Terrible
because
shot because you were still
it was
thinking
all
about
in
it.
there.
Mm-hmm. You can really rattle a person.
It can. And that was part of the game.
That was
of
part
the
of
fun.
it. How can I get you? It's almost like the back off challenge, first edition. Do you know about this game?
Mm-mm.
So there's a trend out there in the social media universe where people are videoing their buddy trying to hit a shot, and while that person is getting ready to hit a shot, they'll say whatever they need to say to get them to step away from the ball.
Back off challenge.
Mm-hmm.
We distracted each other constantly, especially on the tee.
Yeah.
That was and usually most of us could stand in there and still do it.
Yeah.
But that was that was fun.
Mm-hmm.
That was part of it.
Absolutely. I love that.
And I think, and a good example of that is Tiger Woods' dad tried to distract him. He had the best concentration of any golfer I'd ever seen.
Yeah.
He couldn't distract him. So his dad would do things in his backswing, and they practiced all the time, I'm sure, to distract him, and he never shook under pressure in the tournaments that I watched.
Right.
It was amazing.
Yeah, he's
That's
a pretty incredible example of that for sure.
Yeah. Anyway,
Well, I
Uh,
appreciate your time.
thank you. I appreciate your interest.
Yeah, it's fun to go down memory lane and hear stories about your early golf experiences.
Wow. It was fun. Best shot I ever hit. You and J. Paul were with me at Crockett on number 7, par 5. Goes down a valley and back up to the green. And there was a scramble or something going on beforehand ahead of us. I hit a 1-iron off of that tee, and it went down the hill past the long drive marker.
Oh my goodness.
A 1-iron.
A 1-iron. Everybody, he hit a knife off the tee box.
Nobody there to see it but my kids.
Well, that's
And y'all
pretty
were like-
lucky.
Y'all were like this.
This is again like that kid that was 12 years old watching me hit a hole in one.
That's
Could
right.
care less.
Yeah, I could care less.
Could care less.
But I went down there and I moved the long drive and put my name on it. And I put 1-iron beside it.
1-iron, sucker. Oh, that's good.
That
I
was
like that.
fun. That was fun. Anyway,
What, other than Crockett, because that's where we all kind of grew up playing, what was your favorite golf course that you ever played?
but the what?
Favorite golf course you ever played
Wow.
that you can remember? Because I know there's a lot.
Before Memphis moved to Southwind, they played at a course called Countrywood, I think it was. Very posh country club that the St. Jude Classic was played at to begin with, and I played there once
Yeah.
with some friends. It was interesting. It's a professional course, very manicured,
Mm-hmm.
very posh, but
Real shishi. Like, I don't belong. You know how I feel when I go to places like that? I feel like I don't belong here.
Mhm.
I should be carrying their bags.
Yeah, that's the kind of place you don't. Well, it's very very close to Mayakama, where I played with you. The only time I ever played with a caddy,
Yeah. Yes.
Beautiful course.
Oh, yeah.
That was a great experience, and I thank you for it.
Oh, you're welcome. We need to thank Tim Kelly for that one.
That was
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. Good.
Mhm.
You got any questions for me?
And how do you do it?
Which part? The playing, the teaching?
The teaching.
Well,
The patience of teaching is.
I don't know. People say that a lot to me. I don't know. I think because there's just so much joy in watching someone be able to understand a concept and then be able to apply that concept straight away and have successful results. I think that's what keeps me coming back. And it's not always like that. I have plenty of students come out and we work really hard to get them to do a thing, and it's not all that successful straight away. It takes time, and so that's a delayed gratification of it. But I think the other piece that I really enjoy about the teaching aspect, because I feel like a coach mostly, but the breakdown of a specific concept, like what you were talking about with feeling like Jack Nicklaus was your mentor, and understanding the management of the face through the hit, getting to a place in my life where I understand how the body's systems manage the club through the hit. And if you do this with your arm and then do this, like this causes this, because your arm is not going to need to be going through the hit like this. You can't hit the ball. It's going to go sideways. So you have to respond. So if you do these kind of actions with your body, there is a response. And if you do that correctly with the right forces, well, then the physics move the instrument through the hit. And all of that is science. And I never cared about science. But this is practical application, so I can see where those sciences start to make sense. And it just becomes fun for me to kind of nerd out with someone. And if I have a student that comes in and they really like to analyze their movement pattern or what the club is going to do or how the ball flies in the air, why it does what it does, and we can get into the weeds on it a little bit, that's really fun because I understand it better now. And that piece of it helps me help them better, because then they don't feel like it's such a mystery to know, why does my ball curve left? Why does my ball start left and then go right 55 yards? So if we can break down those things and get them to understand, well, then they walk away a more informed player, and also they have a couple of drills that'll help them be able to do the thing that they can do. Well, that's pretty fun. It's all feels like an act of service, and I'm really comfortable in that space doing acts of service, as it is my love language. And so being able to do that for someone and it be my job too it's like a double dose of cream. So it's
If you
cool.
do what you like, you never work a day in your life.
Well, I mean, I hear that a lot.
Yeah, live it once.
You know, sometimes it's not true, but most of the time true. Yeah.
Well, you've developed patience that I never thought you would have, and
Well,
I'm proud of that.
Thank you. It's a
You've done
journey.
well.
Thanks, Dad. Thanks for being here.
You're welcome.
Thanks for tuning in. This is Greenside Chats. We'll see you next time.
That's fun.
Yeah.